Hello, welcome out to the Death Battle cast, a show about Death Battle with the cast.
Most of us. Torian died.
Yeah. Oh.
But he'll be fine later. You might see him next
He'll
week.
be resurrected next week.
I'm Ben, I play Wiz.
I'm Nick, and I'm writer for TJ Combo vs. Balrog.
I'm Chad, I play Boomstick, see?
Oh, they got
there.
the lower thirds.
Hey.
Look at him.
Hello, me. Yes, writer for TJ Combo versus Ballrog. That is the episode that's coming out pretty soon. We just released a preview for Balrog, the first of the combatants, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I also want to mention that this episode of Death Battle Cast is sponsored by
Us.
Yeah, that. This shirt.
Hold on. Trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's gone.
Everything you touch. The second his hands got on it, it just
It disintegrated
away.
live. You saw it.
Yeah, if you guys
Weirdest
don't
thing.
know, we have a new Death Battle shirt. We'll tell you a little bit about it later.
Yeah.
It's
Or you
shirt.
could just
But for now,
look
you
at
can
it.
see all you need to
Yeah.
know just by looking at how good we look wearing it.
And of course, you can always interact with the show with the hashtag DeathBattleCast. It's right down there on the bottom of the screen. No, right here. It's pretty good. I don't know why I did that motion on it, but every episode we take questions from you guys using the hashtag, and we will answer those at the end of the show. And also, we discuss a community death battle where we pitch an idea for a death battle, and then we hand it over to you guys, and you guys let us know who you think would win, and then we come to a conclusion here with the information that you guys gave us.
I'm very excited about
Super
this
fun.
one
So,
because it is, I'm going to say it, Ben, I'm stealing your thunder, literally, because it's Thor riding Zapdos versus Elsa riding Articuno, and then who's riding Moltres?
you don't even remember? You don't even remember.
I was too excited about Thor and Elsa.
It's Thor on Zapdos versus Elsa on Articuno versus Natsu from Fairy
That's what it
Tail
was.
on Moltres. So,
That's very silly,
yes,
but I like it. I
mean-
can't wait to see what people say about it.
silly is what we do here, and also gore and blood and action. But yeah, this is a little bit different than what we've done before. And actually, I believe we have some art from you guys to show off.
Fan art.
Yeah, featuring some of these fighters on their new
The respective mounts.
bird steeds. I don't know how.
Bird steeds.
Like, what do you call a bird that you ride?
A bird.
The mount?
A mount? I guess that there are no birds in real life that you ride, so it doesn't really work that way. But anyway,
loftwing.
Sky chariot.
Sky Chariot, perfect. Let's see. I want to bring up some of the art that has these Sky Chariots.
Chariots. Oh,
Look at
everybody was just like Thor.
Yeah, well, a lot of Thor art.
Like Thor and Zapdos is
It's just
like
awesome.
a match made in heaven. It's awesome. Yeah.
Man, all right, so we got Tyson C on the left there.
And blue on the right.
I love it because like Zapdos looks like a little like, he looks pretty innocent. Almost like a little just like, oh, just flying around having some fun. Thor's like, I'm gonna fuck shit up. And then,
I like the art style on the right for Thor because
Really
it's
cool.
very like retro looking. It's like the way he looked in I can't remember the names of the shows, but like some really old Marvel animation.
Well, it looks like an older Marvel comic.
yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like Thor from the,
yeah.
the
It's
60s,
that like 60s art style.
70s.
I love that he has a Pokeball.
Yeah, Zapdos. I choose thee. Which it doesn't have, but it should have.
Yeah, I choose thee. Perfect.
But no, it looks awesome.
Dude, that would like
Great
totally
artwork.
screw up the Pokemon universe if Thor was just in it, you know, like.
Thor just showed up,
Yeah.
and Ash is like, "Hey, let's battle," and Thor just blasts everything with his lightning.
Yeah. Who needeth
Zapdos.
Pokemon?
No, but those look awesome, and I think there's also one more.
Would Thor be weak to water types?
Look, it's a Death Battle
there we go.
thumbnail.
That's really cool. I may put the words cast under that and use it for the thumbnail on this episode. Just gonna say that now, Samuel, if you're cool with that, that'd be great. I'll tweet you before that happens.
Sounds good. Yeah, that looks
Excellent
really cool.
artwork, guys.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, we always appreciate, like, I don't even think we sometimes we ask, like, hey, it'd be cool if you guys made some art and we showed it off here, but, it's always cool to just see it happen.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we love showing that stuff off. So if you ever, like,
Feel like drawing.
come up with some crazy piece of art that might be inspired by something that happens on Death Battle Cast, share it with us. We'll post it here. We'll show it off. We love talking about that. We love showing that kind of stuff off. But anyway, we need to get to the answers. Who wins between Elsa and Articuno, Thor and Zapdos, and Natsu and Moltres? And I believe the first answers come for Team Elsa and Articuno.
All right, let's see what the community's got to say.
Bring those up.
Mario Toast says Elsa starts a musical number and gets everybody else to sing along, and then she impales them all with icicles.
It's back here now.
That's rough.
We lost the one that we can read.
Oh, we can read it right here.
I like the logic regardless.
There we go.
Cthulhu says Articuno and Elsa, because Articuno can use Mind Reader. Next move will not miss, and Sheer Cold, which is a one-hit KO. Also, Elsa can revive Articuno.
Yeah, she can just make a bunch of Articuno. I don't know if she could revive him, but she can just make a bunch more.
She can.
How could she revive Articuno?
Well, something to do with.
I think it just means like.
I think that comes from Elsa creating like sentient creatures out of the snow. I think that's where she's going, where Cthulhu's going with that. Because like, if nothing else, I mean, Elsa can just do that with or without an Articuno, and everybody else has to deal with
make
it.
an ice Articuno.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She just makes a whole bunch of them. She's got an army. Now she's got something to base it off of.
Only one's the real one, but regardless.
Yeah.
The one not made of snow is the real one. Sure, but I don't know where the revive comes from. Like if Articuno got killed, she could just, I guess she could remake another one or whatever.
Right, that's
Or
what,
if it's the Pokemon world, they literally have items called revives.
And she just has those.
Maybe she does. Maybe she does.
Okay, well let's see what Thor and Zapdos have to offer.
Can't wait. We've got Mitchell Colbert, who's got an article.
A novel. Yeah.
I hope this format is okay and easy to read. Love the show. Thank you for loving the show. We love you. Articuno's type disadvantage to both Zapdos and Moltres would put Elsa on the ground quickly, and Thor's strength and Natsu's fire would easily leave Elsa defenseless to be finished off. Then Natsu could eat Moltres' fire and Thor's lightning to basically have unlimited magic.
I didn't even think about that.
I thought about that after I had brought up Natsu, and I was like, oh no.
That's right, because he does eat
It might be a
lightning as
little
well.
one-sided. But I'm
great.
not sure. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what they say about Natsu and the rest of Thor.
Yeah, Colbert goes on to say, Natsu easily gets motion sickness and wouldn't handle flying or riding bird very well. He'd have to be on the ground with Moltres in the air. Zapdos could likely be beaten by Fire Dragon King mode, which has destroyed entire towns. However, Thor has centuries of experience in combat, lightning attacks against Moltres, type advantage, and enough strength and speed to easily beat Natsu in his most powerful form. Fairy Tail characters are not so tough right now, are they? Sorry, Elsa, you'd better just let it go. The winner is Thor. Man,
I appreciate him working in some puns there.
That's good.
That's very well done.
Worthy puns in there.
Michael Brown chimes in, also saying that Thor and Zapdos win because Zapdos is the fastest of the legendary birds and has type advantage over Articuno and Moltres. This combined with Thor's raw power and durability is easily enough to defeat the other two Pokemon trainer teams.
Okay.
Solid
Strong
logic.
argument
yeah,
for
very
Thor
good.
Zapdos.
Really good arguments. All right, and then we also got Natsu and Moltres.
Yeah, let's see
Round
what
it all out.
Team Fire has to say. Natsu can eat and recharge on Moltres' fire attacks if needed. Thor and Zapdos lightning, so don't worry about super effective moves on Moltres. Plus, he regularly fights with Gray, an ice user like Elsa, who has more combat experience, and fire is super effective against ice in Pokemon. So Moltres is automatically better than Articuno. And then Swan Dad.
Swan Dad?
Swan Dad.
Fear me, the dad of swans.
All right, Father Swan says Natsu and Moltres would win because Natsu would eat both Moltres' fire and Thor's lightning to become god level. All right, so I'm kind of thinking that it's either Moltres or Zapdos at this point.
You don't think Articuno and Elsa have a chance?
I feel like Elsa may be able to do some damage, but half of her team is kind of at a disadvantage when it comes to everybody else.
Elsa's super OP, like hands down. We've talked about putting her in a death battle before.
definitely.
Like crazy the things that she can do.
For sure, but like Natsu and
You're
Moltres
just-
have that synergy going on.
Right. Well, yeah, that, but like it's Thor.
I know.
It's Thor riding the Zapdos.
I know, like right now all I'm saying is not Elsa Articuno.
Okay.
So it's between Thor and Natsu's team.
For me, it is anyway. And it sounds like Chad's already made up his mind.
I'm going with Thor.
I am leaning toward Thor and Zapdos as well. Something tells me, I don't know much about Natsu because I did not research that episode, but something tells me Thor could probably handle everybody here by himself if he so needed to.
I mean, he is Thor. He is the god of thunder, and he is one of the most powerful, just like normal characters in the Marvel universe.
What do you mean?
What do you mean
I say
normal?
normal as in like they have their own title. They are vulnerable enough to have their own comic series, but then like nothing can kill them, and like a Superman kind of character almost. Thor is kind of their Superman in a lot of ways. where like nothing's gonna really be able to kill him. He's fought in the middle of the sun before. He can survive black holes and flying through space at a million times the speed of light. Maybe not a million times the speed of light, but several times the speed of light, if not thousands of times the speed of light. Natsu can't do that.
Yeah.
Elsa
Right.
definitely can't do that. I don't think Elsa's ever fought in the middle of the sun.
No.
Just gonna throw that out there. Maybe not. I don't think so.
I don't think her ice can survive the sun though, because it's ice. That's just kind of my.
Well-
there is a sequel to Frozen coming out. Maybe they'll have her fight in the middle of the sun then.
They did do Frozen Summer, and she was still making a lot of ice. I have a kid, seen a lot of Elsa, and heard that song so many times.
So, as our Frozen expert,
yes.
between the three of us, what is Elsa's limit?
Dude, I don't know. Like, she got mad. She got like super upset and like sent their country into winter. So,
Yeah.
instantly. That's pretty crazy. So I don't know. We haven't really seen a limit to what she can do. The problem with her was that she had so much power. It wasn't that she didn't know how to control it. And like, how does she undo this stuff? And of course, it's the power of love that allows that. Now that she knows that, though, she can pretty much do whatever. Like,
See, I'm gonna make an argument for Elsa here, and because I know everybody's probably thinking Elsa doesn't stand a chance. But if she can create a country, if not continent-wide winter, all those birds are weak to ice. Even Moltres, I think. I have to double check if fire type is actually
I
weak
think
to
that
ice.
cancels it out.
But it's still flying type, which means, and flying type is weak to ice.
But then
So,
fire was fire.
I'm not sure if
resistant
fire
to,
resists
or-
ice. I know it's super effective against ice. I don't know if it resists.
Yeah.
If it does resist, then Moltres would be fine. But if it is weak to it, then she could just cast Winter, and the birds wouldn't be able to fly.
sorry, Elsa, it's like she's going through a skill bar. I'll cast winter. Like,
Just turns it into winter,
everything.
and the birds
there it
can't
goes.
fly.
Yeah.
Or she just impales them with
That
ice.
would be the second
Yeah.
thing that she does. She makes them not able to fly, and then she just kills them with ice.
See, I think she could instantly like. Okay, question. Thor's a god, but do you think he still has water in his body, like like most people do? Because she
Oh
can.
God!
Like,
I
could
mean, he
she-
bleeds.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't she just instantly just be like, like, and then he's just like, freezes. He'd just die. His organs would shut down.
Can she do that?
Oh hell yeah!
Would
I'm
he
sure
not
she
be able
can.
to just avoid it?
How do you avoid it? She doesn't like.
Are you
He's-
talking about like
he's
an
talking
ice
about freezing
blast,
the
or just-
interiors of a person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
like,
seems
when-
like she would have to focus in on one person.
When she sent Arendelle into winter, yes, the town is called Arendelle. It was like a big pulse that just came out of her in like this humongous thing. But I guess it didn't freeze the people
freeze
there.
people.
Yeah, it was winter. We're not talking about like subarctic, approaching absolute zero temperatures necessarily.
Look, at the end of the day, Thor has Mjolnir. So like, even like, I appreciate the argument about like, well, Natsu can eat lightning too. Okay, so like, so Thor tries to zap him, he eats it. He's like, I'm stronger now. Thor's like, fuck you. Like, it
seems
just
like this-
wham, and just explodes because
him
it's
over the head.
Mjolnir.
Yeah. It seems like by the end of this thing, the birds are going to be not even like the main focus anymore. I feel like the birds would probably die sooner than some, if not all of the human.
Okay, if we're looking at it that way, then sure, Thor wins. But what if it's a Pokemon battle?
But it wasn't. It's the
What
combination.
if it is? I'm just throwing
Then-
that out there. What if it is?
then strategists.
Who do you think would work better as a Pokemon trainer?
I'm still guessing Thor.
Okay, so you're saying
Thor,
not just between
hasn't
the.
Thor like led armies and stuff before?
Yes.
He would know
Yes.
war tactics, at least to
All
some
of them
extent.
do, though.
Elsa leads
maybe
the kingdom.
not. Yeah, she's a queen. He's a warrior, sort of king sometimes, I think, of Asgard. And
Elsa's a queen who gave up her throne, though.
well, then she came back.
Yeah.
She came back.
she?
Yeah. She's the queen.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I thought she
Yeah.
just lived in her own castle and
No,
screwed off.
she was
forever.
raised to
I
be a
can't- it's been
queen.
while
She
since
was
I've seen
raised to
Frozen.
lead her. She was raised to lead her people. She
Lead her
knows.
people.
She knows leadership. She knows how to be a leader. She had to learn how to do it in the movie, but she knows all that stuff. Natsu, not so much, but Natsu's way more like the traditional Pokemon trainer we know, like Ash.
It's
Very
just
shonen
like,
protagonist.
let's wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Well, come up with-
this one looks good.
Coming up with clever battle strategies,
Yep.
like kind of like twisting expectations, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If any of these three characters are similar to Ash Ketchum, it'd be Natsu.
I'm still saying, even if it's like them just being trainers and like, who's the better trainer? Thor.
You think Thor would?
Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
Thor's-
Thor ultimately gets my vote.
Has Thor ever had a pet?
He's been Thor's Beta Ray Bill. It's a different one.
It's a different character.
I know, but I just
I
like.
know there's a frog Thor.
I just like
We talked
saying
about that
Thor.
Throg.
Yep.
Throg is.
Throg, that's his name?
I think so. I thought it was. We called him
Speaking
that.
of weird animal characters, so somehow we were just talking about stuff, and we're like, oh, what if we did like animal versions of the characters and made them fight? And so we were like just trying to throw like weird,
I
silly
threw
names out
out
there.
like Superman drill.
Superman drill.
But then it was like, what else could there be? Super manatee.
Super
So
manatee.
I searched for super manatee, and there is, in fact, this
Picture.
exceptionally, like, way too well done fan art of the entire Justice League, all as manatees.
He posted it on his Twitter.
Yep.
That's at the Nervous Nick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you should go
But you
check
also
it out.
found there was an old cartoon of Super Manatee.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was
super
about.
Manatee seems to have existed in some official capacity.
We're gonna dig into that further, and you might see a Desk of Death Battle on that because it popped up and it looked legit at very
It
first
was
glance.
called Farm League, I think is what it was called.
Yeah,
It was some cartoon about animals, kind of like a parody of Justice League sort of thing. Not DC, I don't think. Or the cartoon wasn't made by DC, I don't think. But it was just some kind of parody cartoon, like Underdog or whatever. But with a manatee, a Superman.
There it is.
Hey, there
Hey,
you go.
there's
That's
your
the
tweet.
exact tweet. Man, the Superman one is like the most grotesque thing I've ever seen.
Superman one?
Yeah.
Oh, what is going on with
I don't
the
know if
side?
we can. I don't know if we can get like an extreme close up on that, but
Look at those flaps.
Yeah.
just the wrinkles and the disgusting hair on top.
So would it be
Yeah,
like
the little like toupee kind of
Yeah.
thing on top of his head.
Batman's a close second.
There you
the
go.
little
It's
guy?
Superman.
We're zooming in on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, it's seen some shit.
Super manatee, Martian manatee.
Look at
Yep.
that tiny little
Hunter.
cape. Look at how minuscule the cape is.
Green Lanternity. Or whatever.
That's
It doesn't work quite as well.
Wonder Womanatee.
That one works. Batmanatee is great. Batmanatee looks like he's about to head to McDonald's and get some more cheeseburgers.
Pretty much. But yeah,
Wait, hold
Aquamanatee.
on. Why does Aquaman need to be a manatee?
He doesn't, but now he's automatically the most powerful Justice League member. because
what's-
everybody else is a sea creature now.
Look, even in the art, he's using his
using
Aquaman
his
power.
I know. That's
He's
what's killing
speaking
me.
to the fish.
Like what? They just trust him a little easier now? Like
I guess.
Or
Wait,
is
hold on.
he actually controlling the entire Justice League?
maybe he controls humans now.
Wouldn't that be something?
You just
He's
walk
the only
along,
one that can actually, like,
manatee
survive
flops
on
out.
land.
Yeah, exactly. And then just he starts controlling.
He just
Aquaman
walks
is
on
a-
his little flippers.
When Aquaman is a man, he controls fish. But when he is a fish,
Fish.
he controls man.
Man.
Okay, is Aquaman's power to talk to fish?
Aquamanatee.
Or
Get it right.
I'm talking about actual Aquaman though. Is it to talk to fish or is it like full on controlling fish?
I think it's just communicate. I
Okay.
think he's got to be friends with the fish in order for them to do anything for him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Though I think it's a little inconsistent, if I remember right. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think it started out like he's friends with all the fish and they do his bidding because he can talk to them. And then I think other times he's like summoned some like ridiculous shit.
Yeah,
I think it's
like
more along the
giant
lines.
sharks
Yeah.
and
I think
sea monsters.
generally speaking, it's more along the lines of him commanding them because fish can't think. Or at least most of them don't have the brain capacity to like reason like, oh, you're my friend, I will help you. So he just kind of like changes their instincts or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's a sort of communication command thing.
The only thing,
Regardless.
I know the only thing I want to comment on, like this is fantastic art, and whoever did this is a genius. But
I think there's
the only thing I'm
credit
a
in the
little
corner.
in the
disappointed
bottom left
about,
corner.
I
There's a
think I'm a
credit.
little disappointed about, is that he actually has a bat logo, and I was hoping it would be a bat manatee logo on.
I had like a little tail.
yeah,
with
like
a fin.
yeah, exactly.
God.
Just to set it over to the next level, but
A
Yeah,
batity.
yeah.
Bat-anity. I don't know.
It doesn't work.
not gonna work.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. All right.
So now
So
that we've
who
shared
wins
that
the
nightmare
community
with you,
death battle?
Thor
Thor and Zapdos.
riding a Zapdos.
Thor and Zapdos. But mostly Thor by himself.
Mostly.
Yeah, I guess I got to go with Thor and Zapdos too.
Is this the first like sweep we've had?
I think the last one was a sweep too, actually.
Was it? That wasn't here.
Oh yeah, because it was Gimli versus
versus
Tyrion
Tyrion
Lannister.
Lannister.
Yeah, that was pretty much a sweep.
Okay.
Yep.
Although I think the debate of Lord of the Rings in general versus Game of Thrones in general would not be a sweep. But you know,
That's
Oh,
true.
surely.
anyway.
Hey, you know what? Those manatees look really cool wearing costumes. You too can look cool wearing things.
Weak.
Like this Death Battle t-shirt. So hey, like we said earlier, we launched the new Death Battle t-shirt. It's our new logo, and look at it. So one thing I do want to talk about the shirt is that if you've bought shirts from us in the past, there have been so some of them haven't been printed on the most high quality of shirts. Like most of them have been, but one thing I love about this is it's on a nice premium t-shirt. It feels super comfortable, and I love it. So yeah, if a great way. A lot of people ask what's the best way to support the show? And first membership is awesome, and just watching our videos is a great way. But our merchandise is another great way to support the show. So if you click the link in the description below, you can go pick up one of these all new tees, and you can wear around and be like, I like Death Battle, and that would mean a lot.
It would.
Right?
I would
Yes.
be happy.
No, I'm a really big fan of how the Death Battle tee looks. We haven't had a logo T-shirt, like a new one in a while. We had one.
It was like the gray one on the gray shirt, though.
We had one before that too. That
Way back in the day.
that sold out really fast, and we didn't have any new stock for it for a long time. Eventually, got the gray one, but this one is very similar to the old style, which was the red and white logo on a black shirt, which I loved. And I still have the old one. I need to wear that at some point, compare, because it's very similar, and I really like that we went back to that style for this new one.
Yeah.
I hope you guys like it too. I think it looks really cool. I'm not wearing one right now, but I figured it was.
Ben thought it would be
all
weird
make
if all
mistakes,
three of
Ben.
us were wearing the
I
shirt.
figured it'd be a little weird if we looked like clones of each other. But
Now, who's the one who looks weird when you look at the full shot of all of us? Is it me and Nick? Nope.
One of these people is not like the others.
I gotta admit, you
One of
guys
these
do look
people is
cooler than
Ben.
me because you're wearing that shirt.
That's right. Good job, Ben. Way to back me up. Click the link in the description and you can get your own. Thank you.
All right, so this past week we released a new DBX, or no, actually this weekend we're releasing a new DBX. That is Iron Fist versus Akuma. It's too bad Torian's not on the show right now. We'll talk about this when he's back. But the inspiration for this that animator Kid wanted to do was
It's great.
He was watching our show. He was watching Death Battle Cast, and Torian went on a rant about
Torian's gone on about 3 rants about this.
several rants about the Iron Fist Netflix show. It's been like a running gag that Torian's almost turned this entire show into the Iron Fist rant show on several occasions. And Kid, one of our DBX animators, decided to make an entire DBX animation inspired by that. So Iron Fist versus Akuma starts off with Akuma watching the entire Iron Fist show and getting so pissed off, he travels to New York to kill Iron Fist.
The comic version.
The comic version, yeah.
For letting it happen. Just check it out. It came out really good. It's fun.
It's pretty fun. So definitely check that out. And of course, we released the preview for the upcoming Death Battle. Balrog versus TJ combo.
Yes.
We released Balrog's preview. Nick, you've been writing and heading up that episode.
Researching, yeah.
You were actually very adamant about doing this episode this year because you love Killer Instinct. You've been a Street Fighter player ever since, I guess, Chad really taught you how
Since
to play
like
Street Fighter.
2008,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Really quick point. Street Fighter hasn't had a very good record lately on Death Battle and DBX. And a lot of people, there are a lot of comments every so often that label us as like Street Fighter haters and think that we just don't like Street Fighter.
Which is hilarious.
It's hilarious because if you have been following us for 5 or so years, you know that if there's any fighting game that all of us collectively can agree is really good,
Besides Smash.
besides Smash Brothers, it's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're all Street Fighter fans.
Yeah,
The first
absolutely.
arcade cabinet that we ever had, and like in the office that we all played like all the time, was a Street Fighter arcade.
The Street
Fighter
Fighter
3
3 New Generation, and then we got the Third Strike
Yeah.
board.
In
and,
fact, we still have that arcade machine. We made sure that out of all the arcade machines that came over to our section of the Rooster Teeth campus,
Yep.
it was that one because it's such a treasure to us.
Yeah,
it's where
really
I learned
important.
fighting games.
Yeah, actually, a lot of us joined Screw Attack having not really played Street Fighter that much, and it's kind of like a rite of passage for being
Basically,
part of
yeah.
Screw
Somebody's
Attack
going to get trained. Yeah.
to play Street Fighter enough to get at least decently good at it. At least understand how to play a character. Like, we all do it.
Yeah, so like Third Strike is probably like one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So when we came in, we had New
pretty much all say
Generation, and like Craig, loved playing Street Fighter 3, and so he and I started like, finally like, oh, cool, yeah, let's just duke it out all the time, and then everyone else was like, I want in on that, And
Yeah.
so then like Nick had never played fighting games before.
No.
And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll show you how to play, because I love just talking fighting games and Street Fighter especially. And dude, it's crazy, like that, like Nick got the
got
fighting
me-
game bug, man.
Yeah, I mean, it started slow. It was just kind of like an in-office competition. Like, you got me started on Sean, I think, who was like garbage tier.
You wanted to play Sean.
Yeah, okay, I guess it's true. He throws the basketballs. Yeah, so it was Sean and then Ken were the first two I started with. And then like some of my favorite fighting game characters, period, are Ibuki and Makoto.
Yep.
And they're obviously Street Fighter characters. I'd love to see them in episodes that we do someday. I don't know who they'd fight exactly.
Ibuki would be cool.
Ibuki's the like ninja.
A really cool ninja fight.
It's like a young ninja in training sort
Versus
of thing.
Taki from Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That'd be fun.
Or,
I love bringing
I really
Soul
like
Calibur
that.
characters in because
Yeah,
Soul
yeah.
Calibur is one of my favorite fighting games. So
Karai from
I love
Ninja
any
Turtles.
chance to bring a Soul Calibur character
Yeah, yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do.
Oh my God.
God. Oh, look. Brian found really old footage. Oh,
There's
no.
the arcade machine. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
See,
it's the same-
proof that we play
Look at
Street
that
Fighter.
YOLO Super.
Yeah, that
Who's
was
that?
that was
Is that
garbage.
you or Destin?
That was Destiny.
That was Destin. He sucks
Blame
at
it
this.
on.
No.
Oh.
I'm playing Ryu in New Gen. Man, this is a long time ago.
This was
If you couldn't
before
tell by
you
my
picked up
baby
Oro.
face. Ugh, so good.
Yeah. Anyway, we are big Street Fighter fans. Don't get us wrong. Yes, Destin does suck.
Back when I had my
Yeah,
lip ring
it's,
and everything.
you had a quote, Chad, several years ago, I think when Mario vs. Sonic came out, that really kind of defines a lot of what Death Battle does. In terms of,
yeah.
our public reception.
Yep.
We can be Nintendo fanboys until the one episode, and then suddenly we're Sega fanboys because we killed off a Nintendo character.
Yep.
It's funny how reactions can go like that. And I understand that, you know, if you're watching a Death Battle episode, you've maybe seen like 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or whatever, but you've not seen all of them because there's a lot. You haven't watched all of our Screw Attack content because
We've been doing it for a long time.
we're like almost 11 years
11
old.
years, dude.
No, we're
we
over
are.
11.
We're going for 12.
God.
in February. Yeah.
Man, I've been with this company for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm coming up on 9.
That's crazy.
We're old.
Anyway,
We've grown up here, some of us.
That's what's so funny about anytime I see like an old video like that.
I know.
We
I'm
look
just
so
like, we
young.
look so young.
I
Yeah,
know.
like that was crazy.
but I don't know if any of us have ever mained Balrog in a Street Fighter game.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I wasn't the biggest fan of charge characters until I started maining Oro in Third Strike.
Yeah.
And like he's half and half.
The only
still.
charge character I ever really played was Bison, so.
Alex in 3.
Oh yeah, and then Alex and
He's
Urian,
got
I guess.
2 charge
I guess the
moves,
Street
so.
Fighter 2 charge
Yeah.
character that I ever played was anything with, you know, Balrog involved was Bison. So I don't think I've ever played Balrog, honestly. But we've always wanted to do this kind of boxing match sort of thing, and
It looks so good.
we haven't even mentioned it, but because you got him hooked on fighting games when Killer Instinct came out,
Yep.
he got hooked on that right away.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a game that I've been hopelessly addicted to since it came out. I've played it almost nonstop. Like I've had little breaks here and there, but it's never been like a conscious decision. Before long, it always sucks me right back in.
I'm so proud of Nick. Like you don't even know. I haven't talked about this before, but like I literally like got the guy into fighters and then getting to watch him like go off on his own. Like when he learned to main Ibuki and Makoto and like took that on, like I was like, wow, that was cool. That's now he's left the nest. He's gone beyond me. He's learning characters that I don't know. Like
I
and
remember
that's-
your like super proud moment was when I was teaching Torian how to play KI.
Yep.
You know, you said it's like, man, it's like I've watched my son grow up. Or whatever you said.
Because then like KI comes out and like I love KI. It's an awesome game. And
Yeah,
Nick and I both were all like on super hype train for KI. And Nick, I remember before it came out, he's just like, I think KI is gonna be my thing. He's like, I think I'm gonna make that my game.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did. And then
Yeah,
the game
you-
came out and you spent like 6 hours a day or something like that.
Oh God, yeah.
we were rooming together at the time. We had an apartment, and
It was almost embarrassing.
anytime if he would go home before me, anytime that I would like walk in the door, he'd be on the couch playing Killer Instinct every single day after work.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that I was playing it like every single evening for hours and hours on end, but from Ben's perspective, I knew it looked like that.
It sure was.
I knew it looked exactly
It
like
was.
that.
It really was. Like you
It's
were.
a good game. It's really friggin' good. It's free too. It's coming to Steam as well. I'm a fanboy, so I could talk about it all day.
But yeah, anyway, so like, Nick got really good. He got better than me. And then I was like, I'm just gonna accept that. He's put in the time. Nick's gotten better than me. This is his game. It's his
Took
time.
you a little while to get to that point, dude.
Yep. yeah. No, but then Torian gets in and Nick teaches Torian, and then I like when you've played a lot of fighting games, like you can be lazy because you have a lot of basics and like the
Fundamentals.
fundamentals like under your belt, and you can beat most people just off of that. But then like
person.
But then Torian got better than me, and that's when I was like, so I actually spent time training up and got better at KI. But Nick and Torian play all the time, and yeah. Anyway, so
that's the history of us in fighting games.
Yep. So roots in Street Fighter, and then also current love for Killer Instinct. We love when these two franchises get to match up. And like Ben said, this was such a cool hook of doing a boxing match. So if you haven't seen like the little bit that we've teased, like Ben put out a thing on his Twitter, a screenshot that's Torian had rendered out.
Also on the Screw Attack Twitter.
Okay, cool. So it's also up on the Screw Attack Twitter, and it's like we have a boxing ring. It looks super legit. We have voice actors being announcers.
You know what's funny? Okay, Balrog is being voiced by Chris Jai Alex, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah, who is the voice of Tusk in the current Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Oh,
I met him.
we met him. Yeah,
I met him at Evo, not Evo, E3. Not this past year, but 2016.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And that's when they had General Rom revealed for KI, so you could like line up and play the game or whatever. I did just because I loved KI, even though there's like all these new games around me. And there's the guy I played. I didn't know who he was at first, but talking with him afterward, turns out I was playing with the guy who voices Tusk, and he was playing as Tusk in the game.
But now he's voicing Balrog.
Fighting TJ Combo. That's by
Yeah.
Gabe Kunde. He's part of the Funimation crew of actors. Yeah, so I remember you bringing that up when we were casting this, and we sent out a casting thing, and Marissa was like taking auditions. You brought up that, hey, Chris really wants to voice somebody in Death Battle, and we reached out to him, and he auditioned for it just like everybody else, and he did awesome.
Yep.
So it's turning out really good. And
This legitimately is probably my favorite Death Battle to date. We get asked that a lot. Like, what's one of your
really?
favorite? Let's say from an
to hear
animation fight perspective. Oh my God, it's so cool. Like, it's something new too. Like, we've been doing this for a really long time, and like we get to do new matchups in terms of like, oh, like maybe we haven't done a ninja fight before or something like that. But like, this is so different in the fact that like it's in this boxing arena, and we have like these announcers. There's just something. There's just like an extra level of charm to it that I really, really like, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And in my opinion, it's one of Torian's best work so far. It looks.
Oh, I'm not surprised, because I think pretty much the biggest reason this episode is happening is because Torian and I just really wanted to make it that badly.
Yep.
Yeah.
it's been a passion project for Torian for a while.
Yeah. Like, we've been dreaming about this thing, going back and forth. Like, our visions were pretty much like exactly the same, which almost never happens. Like, usually he'll have some different ideas, and I'll be like, I don't know about that, but I like this thing that you said. This time we were just like completely on the same wavelength with like everything. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm excited. And that's gonna come out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Or yes, because we've got shit. How does time work?
Week and a half.
Week and a half. That's it.
Pretty much.
I mean, whatever. I mean, the TJ Combo previews, like, I'm so used to us doing this on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And when the preview just comes out on
Yep.
YouTube, and I'm like, oh yeah, 2 weeks from now it comes out on YouTube. But no, actually it's a week and a half from now, because we do this on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. So
This time next week we'll be talking about the TJ preview. Week after that we'll be talking about the full episode.
Yeah.
what he said. Yeah. So
got you.
Balrog, we've barely even touched on this. We've just been talking about our love for Street Fighter and Killer Instinct. But Balrog, he's a character who doesn't have a whole lot of history, at
He
least
really
in
doesn't.
terms of his like lore.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because there is a lot of lore in Street Fighter, sometimes even too much.
Surprising amount of lore.
A surprising amount, yeah, but really not so with Balrog, at least when it comes to his origins.
Yeah.
Like growing up and that kind of thing. All we know is that he came from a poor family, and so we kind of had to, sort of fill in the gaps a little bit.
Connect the dots.
Yeah. All I know is that he grew up in a poor family and ended up becoming the right-hand man of one of the most like fearsome villains in Street Fighter.
Got kicked out of boxing once or twice, but
For killing a man, for being too good at punching.
Which is great. And also, fun fact, if you're into like the fighting game community, all you guys already know this, but and we probably did we talk about it in our M. Bison episode way back in the day?
yeah.
But just in case you don't know, so a fun little fact, the names of M. Bison, Vega, and Balrog are actually all flipped over here in America because M. Bison was originally the name of Balrog because he's supposed to be like
Mike Bison.
Yeah, Mike Bison, Mike Tyson, right? And then when that was going to get localized over here in America, they were probably like, don't want to get sued. So
Yeah, it was a mix of not wanting to get sued, and also I think he was going through the like it was like a rape scandal at the time.
Oh yeah. And they, like I think
like very
Associate-
recently.
yeah. So originally, M. Bison was Balrog.
No, and Bison was Vega.
You're right. Okay. It depends on how we're
Bison over here
Yes.
is Vega in Japan.
Yes.
Balrog over here is M. Bison in Japan.
Yes.
And Vega over here
Is Balrog over there?
is Balrog in Japan.
Right. Which, by the way, if you ever see, because like a lot of Japanese and American players come together into these tournaments, they were so sick of all the confusion. So now that we just call them Dictator, Claw, and Boxer.
Yep.
So that's, if you ever see those terms, that's why. And there's a fun fact because we really like fighting games.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and we've covered that in Death Battle before, but it's a really interesting little factoid about like localization stuff, and a lot of games in like anime and stuff that gets translated overseas and stuff that goes through a lot of similar stuff. Going to like a show's Wikipedia page or a game's Wikipedia page and scrolling down to the trivia section is always one of my like favorite little like pastimes whenever I've got nothing to do, just to find all these like weird little things about shows or characters or whatever like this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of fascinates me. I think that's why I made Death Battle in the first place. Just finding all the like weird trivia. It's great.
And that's why Desk of Death Battle exists, because
Exactly.
when something is just so weird and takes a while to explain, but we can't talk about it in the episode, we still wanted to talk about it because it's so fun to come across this stuff and share it with the audience.
Yep.
So, yep.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoy Balrog versus TJ combo when it comes out in 1.5 weeks. Definitely check out the Balrog preview and the DBX. And right now, I think it's a good time to check out the Out of Context comic book panel of the week.
Let's see what Austin's found for us today.
Bring it up.
Let's see how sexual this is.
Probably
Usually
pretty.
is.
Let's see. Green Lantern, please help me. I have no arms. Fuck you. He showed weakness.
Okay.
Maybe you'll have arms in the afterlife.
You're like, what?
Oh, it's not sexual.
Okay.
It's just
This is great. This is my favorite non-sexual out of context comic, but like clearly something has happened in the past and this is a context clue, or he's already figured out that this guy is an imposter of some sort, but all we see is I've got no arms. And maybe that's like the Green Lantern's fear.
is armless people.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like it. And he's like, now you got no teeth.
Okay, is it just a shading, or is something happening in the left panel on Green Lantern's arm? Because it looks like a shadow.
Oh, it's like part
or
skin?
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably just sitting there rubbing it, being like, God, it's great to have arms. And then this guy walks up and he's like, I've got no arms. And he's like, bitch. Man, he hit him
Look what
hard
I can
too.
do
He's
with
bleeding.
arms.
Yeah.
All right.
Look how useful these things are. Like,
That's what this is? He's like,
Yeah.
oh, you have no arms, huh? Look what you can do with them.
or, wait a minute. Did he notice he was lying? Because look at his sleeve. It's
What? In which
extended
panel?
out. It's not drooping down. He has invisible arms.
Okay.
No, that's
I
probably
think-
just him getting hit so hard that his sleeves are just flopping around.
His sleeves are shaped in the first panel as if there are arms there.
Right.
And I believe this is a fake panel. I think this is all fake. I think the arms have been edited out. Look at the. if
That
you
would
look
be
at it,
very easy to do.
I think they've been edited out. I don't think this is real.
Are we? Is this a guess of real or fake?
Yeah. If the rule is that if we think it's fake, we can claim it and say, hey, this is fake, and then we find out if Austin's tricking us or not.
Damn it, this one's hard. Oh, I want it to be real. I
would
really,
love it to be
really
real.
want it to be real. So I'm gonna go with real.
What do you think, Nick?
I think it's too good to be true. I think it's fake.
All right. Is it fake or real? Let's find out.
Damn it! Ben,
Crap,
you
I was
nailed it.
right.
I know, and like the sleeve thing. I knew it. I just wanted it so badly to be real.
Now, I am curious if I'm right. I do want to know if I'm right that the arms have been edited out.
Yep.
Austin just said yes. All right. Score. I got
Still,
this.
that man, what a blissful like 2 minutes that was thinking that it could be real.
That was great.
Aw, I'm
That was
sorry to
great.
ruin your day.
No,
That's really
it
funny,
brought
though.
me joy.
Yeah, bravo.
Do we have credit
whoever
for who
created
made
that?
it?
Good job.
Okay, it was submitted by
Community
community members, so
Using
we
the
don't know
hashtag
who actually
DeathBattleCast.
made it, but I'm sure it's pretty easy to find on Google. We might look it up later after this and see, like, post it on Twitter or something like that, because that's fun. That's awesome.
This is one of my favorite ones. That was great.
That's pretty
Please help
brilliant.
me.
I have no arms. Blam!
That's great.
All
right.
All right.
I do wonder what the original caption was, though.
Oh, well, clearly Green Lantern's hurt, and maybe he just got out of a fight, and the guy probably came up and said something insensitive, like, you really let those people down, or something.
Green Lantern's had kind of a history. Hal Jordan has had kind of a history of killing innocent people, becoming a villain.
Yeah.
Might be that point.
Maybe
It's
it
like,
was.
hey, your whole city's destroyed. Who the fuck was it during Superman's death? Eradicator just destroyed your whole city, and Green Lantern's like, fuck you. I'm gonna go kill everybody. That's it. That's the origin. And now he doesn't have arms. It's
Or
a new reboot.
Or maybe Green Lantern was like flying around or something, and then he's like, the guy came up and he's like, you don't have a pilot's license. He's like,
I'd like to imagine they're making a new animated movie of the death and resurrection of Superman, and that story of Green Lantern going crazy after Coast City's destroyed is in there. I like to imagine that scene is in there, of an armless man coming up and be like, you failed your city, and then he just punches him.
That'd be great.
man.
I hope so.
That would be amazing.
So hey guys, guess what's happening in the world of video games and nerdy shit?
People are losing their arms.
People are losing their arms, and people are also losing their Thanksgivings.
Okay,
It's ready for it's ready
didn't
for a
think
sad
we're going
story.
I
here,
know
but
where this is
take
going.
me on a journey, Ben. Tell me about
GameStop is apparently staying open on Thanksgiving this year because they're in the shithole.
it. Oh, really?
I don't know how Thanksgiving, a single extra day of retail, is going to save the company.
Wasn't Black Friday the day after Thanksgiving? Or no, am I messing that up?
It is the day after Thanksgiving.
So that's
but-
why. It's just early Black Friday. It's Black
Except
Turkey.
Black Friday starts on Wednesday now.
That's
true.
It's lost all meaning.
It doesn't really matter anymore. Like, they could have just made Black Friday on Black Monday, like whatever.
That's
I don't know.
Cyber Monday, Ben. Don't tread on their territory.
They can't mix.
And then there's Taco Tuesday.
And then
Yeah, GameStop really can't interfere with that.
Nah.
But no, I sorry for anybody who works at GameStop and has to work on Thanksgiving, because that's kind of rough.
That sucks. We used to work, Blockbuster was open.
on Thanksgiving.
Did you ever have to work on Thanksgiving Day?
They were open every single day except for Christmas Day, I believe. And they would close early on Christmas
Even Christmas Eve?
Day. I think we closed it a little bit early. Can't remember. It's been a long time. Ours sucked because everybody, like, every time you have a holiday, the people want to get together with their family and watch a movie. So, you know, screw our families.
That's right.
We'll sit there and
Does
rent
anybody-
movies to you and get yelled at
Does
for
anybody
late fees.
even want to go shopping on Thanksgiving?
You would be surprised, man.
Want
Like
to?
that was our first argument. Like, why? Like, yeah, it's a holiday. Everybody's gonna be at home with their family, and then yet Blockbuster is fucking full of people. And I'm like, apparently they know.
I mean, I guess the idea could be like, oh, okay, we'll be open on Thanksgiving because not a whole lot of shops will be open on Thanksgiving. Where's anybody going to buy video games? You come to GameStop. But then you read about it and you're like, oh, all the employees are going to just be angry. I don't want to go into a building where everybody's just pissed off. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It depends.
But you can get some
Feels
sweet
like-
deals. Maybe.
No,
know.
Or you
you
can just get
can't.
a Wednesday.
It's a lie, and that's the problem. Is like I hate Black Friday so much because however many years ago when the Xbox One was coming out, I decided last minute I was like, I want to get an Xbox One because I want to play Killer Instinct, right? So me and my brother-in-law go out on Black Friday to try and find an Xbox One, and so I'm just going around and like it did not happen. Just gonna
Really?
say that now.
Because Ben and I got one when we were roommates at the time. And it was me, Ben, and our good friend Philip. The three of us, we have this tradition, or anybody who's able to make it anyway in our group, we have this tradition where we just go people watching on Black Friday, or at least that's the intent. This particular time, we ended up walking away with an Xbox One. We weren't planning on looking for one at all. Did you
I
remember
hate
that?
you.
The GameStop? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just went out to mock people and you
went
got
halvesies.
one, and I actually, for the first time in my life, went out with a purpose and
Yeah.
couldn't get it?
Yeah.
Stupid universe.
We've gone just kind of wandering Black Friday just to see if we can get anything and see
Just-
if anything
it's
pops
usually-
up. But
yeah.
that one was like, we were lucky.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
we were in line, and the entire time I was thinking, we're not going to get it. It's not going to work. It's going to be gone by the time we get up there. They probably only have 1 or 2 available, and even then, I don't know. But we ended up getting it. I think it's just all about luck.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, so like we pop into Target, right? Because we were just gonna check, see if they had any left. And my mind was blown because they just had like this big metal crate, and it was full of TVs that they were like, $1,000 slashed down to $600. But then I looked at the TV for like a second, and I'm like, well, that's like a $600 TV. Like,
Sure.
but everyone's like losing their mind. And like, I watched a dude pull a cart up and grab 3, and then I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's working. Like, they're falling for this. No one is just like looking this up on the internet to find out. Like, anyway, and then I saw the line, and that's when I was like, all right, this is a whole new level of insanity. So they had like all the cash registers all the way down, and then the line went out, down through the grocery side, up
That's how
and
it goes.
back, all the way around, and then started going back and forth through the aisles. And I was just like,
I've
There's
always wanted
no
to
way.
see. I've always wanted to see a fight break out on Black Friday. I haven't
You
gotten to
want
see
to
one yet.
see a fight break out?
see, oh
you
no.
get to see the collapse of modern society. You get a front row seat.
That's how people get trampled, man.
People
Die.
It's like being in the splash zone at SeaWorld.
Oh, they're asking
Part of the
for it,
experience.
clearly.
Thankfully, I've never been in a Black Friday-like situation and got a little out of control like that. I think the only time I ever bought anything on a Black Friday-like sale, other than the Xbox One, I think it was like a Target or something. They did the line thing where you had to wait in line. Basically, it was set up that
There's a
you
line
got
to get in line, right?
You got in line, and while you were in line, there were deals set up along the line. So there was like a video game aisle and like a food aisle and stuff like that
Man,
in the line.
that's a genius marketing
is
tactic.
crazy.
Like, that is all like impulse buy. You're now in the exclusive
Yep.
line, and only you could buy these
Yeah.
things. And
So I came after the line was done. Like, I didn't want to wait in line for anything. I was just kind of wandering around. I think it was one of those days when we were.
It was the
going out with
Walmart,
Wes and
wasn't
Phil.
it?
Maybe.
Where they had video games and movies in the grocery
Yeah.
produce section.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it was, because it was in the groceries. They had a video game aisle in the line aisle. And I was walking through it, and I
Weird.
saw, like, Assassin's Creed, the 4th one, Black Flag. It was, like, $15 or something like that. And I was like, oh, sure, whatever, I'll get this. I want to play it. So I got it.
You never played it, did you?
I did play it,
Oh, okay.
but the disc didn't work.
Oh no.
It got to a certain point in the game, like maybe 5 hours in, and it stopped working.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, then it just never worked again, or it
Just
would never let
worked.
you
I
play?
See,
tried
Black
a sec-
Friday
I
is
tried
a
a
scam.
second like playthrough. It didn't work. I had to download it for PS4 and play it then.
Really, because
Yeah.
that exact game ended up being one of the free games with gold things. That's the reason why I had it.
Later. Yeah, actually, like 2 months after I bought it off PS4, it became free. Yeah, I didn't have a great experience getting the game for Black Flag, but it was a good game.
Well-
So I'm okay with it.
Black Friday is a scam, and GameStop is apparently going out of business, so you have to work on Turkey Day. Sorry.
You know what else is a scam?
What?
Batman is actually a superhuman.
I heard about that one. He's a.
I mean,
a
yeah.
metahuman.
I've always theorized that Batman at some point got hit by some kind of gamma radiation or something
Yeah.
that turned him into a metahuman that made him super powerful, at least a little bit more powerful than a normal human, because he does some crazy shit.
yeah.
And according to Suicide Squad number 22, he is officially labeled as a metahuman.
by Amanda Waller, right?
Yeah, by the government and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
But
they only
what's
do
the
that
explanation?
The explanation is that apparently at some point he had been killed or half killed or something like that, and he came into interaction with nth metal, which is that like
Oh,
magic
yeah,
metal
yeah.
that like Hawkgirl uses, and it restored him and I guess turned him a little bit better than a normal human. So that's a thing now.
I
Okay.
read an article that was talking about that, and I don't remember what they cited exactly, but they said something about how this isn't the first time they've pulled a very similar stunt to this. Like, I think they said it's been done like once or twice before, it just never really went anywhere.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I will always defend the idea that Batman is not quite human. He's a little too ridiculous to be regular human.
Yeah,
But like he can bench press 1,000 pounds with just his legs. Like that's not peak human.
Nah, man,
whatever.
he trained really hard.
he believed in himself
he
really
did.
hard.
And he just kept building up that muscle mass and eating the right protein, I guess. And there you go.
Yeah, Batman is totally a superhuman.
And now it's official.
Now it's official.
Cool.
Pretty much.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up
No, it's good. I mean,
because also Justice League is in the shit.
Again?
Well,
More than it was?
This is a little old news. We didn't really talk about this, but they're doing reshoots, and the reshoots are costing $25 million.
Oh, that's right.
But the funny thing is, and I wanted to bring this up last episode and I didn't. You guys know what this is. Henry Cavill is playing Superman, and he's got a mustache on because he's also in the Mission Impossible that's being shot right now.
MI6.
And they're having to digitally remove the mustache in his new scenes,
Okay, you know what?
which is great.
That's very, very silly, but I actually thought you were about to say, like, so Superman's gonna have a mustache, and that would have just been absurd.
I mean, he
Would've
had a
been
beard
great.
in Man of Steel.
Yeah, well. Okay, I still need to finish that, but also like, have you
really
when he's future Superman? Oh, you tell me that every time. When he's future Superman, he's got that wicked awesome like white beard. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one's great. But I don't know. I don't think I'd trust Superman with just the mustache, dude. Like,
Which is why he's playing a villain in MI6 with a mustache.
yeah, right? Because you don't trust the stash. Like, get a beard going, and you're offset. Just the stash.
Hold on a second.
Hold on to your
Something's up.
cash.
Oh, there you go.
Got a
That's what
stash,
he looks
hold on
like.
to the cash.
Would you trust a man who looks like that?
I'm very hesitant.
He's got the.
I don't know.
You know, if he's got the other grizzle, that helps offset it. Doesn't look as creepy.
Kind of don't like that it's such a close-up face immediately over my shoulder. Like I feel the need.
Oh yeah,
to
it
keep
kind of looks like
watching
he's
it.
looking at you there, like just a little bit out of the side of his eye. Yeah, he'll be your
It kinda
Superman.
does. You gotta watch your back, Nick.
It's Superman, no less. So
With a mustache, though.
Yeah, you can't get away from him.
Anyway, at the beginning of the show, I mentioned the hashtag DeathBattleCast. You can use that to send us questions on Twitter, and we answer the questions at the end of every single episode. I think it's about time we got to the questions for this week. Now, we don't know what these are. Austin pulls them up. Sometimes he runs them by us, but he didn't run them by us today.
No, he did not. So we're in for a
So-
treat.
I don't know what we're about to witness, but let's bring up question number 1.
Sam W. Have you considered doing a death battle tournament with 8 or 16 contestants over a few weeks?
I feel like we've been asked this one a few times. Like
Every
this
so
is an
often we get
idea-
this question.
This is an idea that the community seems to ask us every now and then.
Yeah. So the idea of doing a death battle tournament is always tough because
We'd have to make like a special event and leave it up to fan vote of who fought who.
yeah, who
And then
fights
we can
who is
determine
what
from
determines because certain characters are basically good foils against other characters, and if
Yep.
they meet up early in the tournament, then one character who could have won it all might lose because he just so happened to be paired up with one character who counters him.
Yep.
But if he doesn't, then he might win the whole thing. So it gets a little iffy with how we would structure a tournament. And
How do you choose the combatants?
who would
even?
be in
Is
it
there a
and-
theme? Is there not?
I don't know. It's
Much
it's,
more viable for DBX because we can do it
DBX
about
could do something
fun
like
and
that, I'm
like
sure.
we don't have to worry about it being 100% accurate.
But then that kind of defeats the whole point of it being a tournament, which is to determine the best. So it's kind of a unknown for us right now. It's definitely an idea we've thrown around. I think the biggest thing that has kept us from doing it so far is because, as you mentioned, a tournament of 8 to 16 contestants in a couple weeks. Can you imagine how much work that is? A 16-man tournament in a couple weeks?
What are you talking about? These videos just appear by themselves on the internet.
That was so god.
Work goes into it.
The amount of research, the amount of animation, especially for something that big, would be enormous. To
Plus,
put
it would take a lot of
least.
time away from death battle, like because it
Yes.
would just be this tournament and
We've never liked the idea of basically shutting down Death Battle as it stands to create something different like the tournament. And basically that's what would have to happen in order to like reallocate resources in order to make a tournament. Especially because a lot of the requests are tournament of like current victors, like who would win based on the current victors that we have. And in order to do that, we basically have to spend months and months on all these characters that we've already featured. And we'd rather show off more characters that we haven't featured yet, because I know you guys have a lot of awesome suggestions, and we always pull from those. So that's kind of our priority now. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen,
but probably
but,
not.
well, maybe not anytime soon, but maybe in the future, is what I would say.
You can hope.
Stay tuned.
All right, what else we got?
Question number 2.
Ben Pelzinski. All right, hold it.
Palzinski.
Why did your
Pelzinski.
pitch
It's
go up
Pelzinski.
the further on?
Because
you
it was questioning.
Let me know.
Anyway,
Let me know if I got that right, Pilzinski.
Pelzinski, maybe. Have there been, or will there be, death battles that you didn't want to do but felt obligated to do to amount of requests for it?
Wait, have there been
Basically, like,
death battles that you didn't want to do but felt
we did it because there were
obligated
so many requests.
And not because we truly
that we didn't want to do?
Thor versus Raiden. That one was like, oh, that's funny on paper. And then we looked into it and we're like, oh, poor Raiden. But it's been requested a lot, so let's do it.
There'll always be a couple episodes that are requested that we look at the matchup and the characters and we think, it's not going to be fun to watch or like interesting at all. Because we will do pretty much any matchup so long as we think we can make it fun, entertaining, and interesting. Because that's what the show ultimately is.
We did Fox McCloud versus Bucky O'Hare.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's interesting because Bucky is kind of like a forgotten character, but he's very similar to Fox in a lot of ways. Like that's a discussion that is fun to have, and that is a fight that is fun to watch. And that's why we made that episode. But if there's a suggestion that we just look at it and we think, I don't really think a whole lot of people really want to see that, then I don't think we're gonna do it.
But it's more of a lot of people want to see it, and then we didn't want to do it, is what he's asking. And I don't. No, other than like I said, the only downside is like when we get excited about a matchup because we see it suggested a lot and think it makes like a lot of sense, and then if we look into it and it's just a complete utter stomp. Like I said, Thor,
we did
Thor
Flash versus
Raiden.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, that one too.
That one was a really popular request though, but that is
Flash is ridiculous.
that is definitely one-sided. So we will still do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we still made it. We still try to have fun with it and create like an interesting scenario, and they were fun characters to talk about. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, like we make entertainment.
I can't think of a matchup that is very highly requested that we always look at and go, ugh, that wouldn't be good. I don't think there's ever been anything like that.
No matter what, we'll make it entertaining. Like,
Yeah.
Because even with like Thor Raiden or
Oh,
whatever.
I know one.
Oh yeah.
Hermione versus
Oh,
Juggernaut.
yep. Hermione Granger
See, I was
versus the
thinking
Juggernaut.
it. I wasn't gonna say it this time.
I don't believe you. I feel like it was probably coming.
I don't believe me either.
Yep, he's gonna.
Let's go to the third question.
All right.
Captain Aaron. See, I can read that one. Have you guys ever stopped liking a series / fandom after doing so much research on it, Ben? Ben?
Oh God. It's been a long time since I've actually done the research, but I'm trying to remember all the episodes that we've done and which ones I hated. I know you hate some series because of research.
Well, but I think this question is asking about ones that we liked at some point to begin.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue is the one for me. Like studying the lore for Blaze Blue, especially knowing nothing about it going in, was not fun. That's a rant that I could, go on and on about, but I've talked about it enough, I think. You should go watch Top 10 Worst Cartoons Based on Video Games and watch number 7. That kind of says all.
Whenever anybody
Needs to be
asks
said.
one of these questions, it's like, out of all the episodes that you've done, have you ever liked this or disliked this? I always think to myself, I can't remember all of the episodes that we've done off the top of my head. I got to pull up our playlist.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Look, that's what I'm doing right now, actually. I'm pulling up the playlist.
I've actually got an answer. When it comes to researching Mega Man and Sonic, for some reason, the times I've had to research characters from those, I just feel so exhausted by the end. I don't know what it is about them. It's just like information overload, I guess. But that's what it is for me. Like whenever, I kind of re-experienced that when researching Zero for Metal Sonic vs. Zero. And just after that, I just had to not even think about Mega Man for a while. Like as much as those games are enjoyable and as much as I personally like them, just had to stay away from it for a while.
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I think the only thing that not that I dislike the franchise or character, but it's more like I now have like a bitter taste associated with those characters. Hulk versus Doomsday. Like that debate raged on for so long that like it
way
was
longer
so,
than any other match.
So frustrating that like anytime now I kind of like think about that, I'm still like, oh, you son of a bitch. Like,
See, that ended up being one of my favorite like rundowns for.
Oh, it was
an episode.
great.
Yeah, because I really liked the way we justified it. But yeah, it was so ridiculously close that for the longest time nobody was completely certain.
Oh yeah, no, there were moments of like just throwing up hands and just like, why do we even try? And like walking out of the room and yeah.
Yeah, that fries our brains.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think for me, I was just looking through the list of all our episodes and all the episodes that I had done research for. I don't think there's ever been a series or a character that I disliked afterwards. There have been characters that I liked afterwards, like that I didn't know much about.
Yeah, the opposite is way more.
I didn't really care for it beforehand, but then after researching them and like getting to understand them, like I really appreciated them. Superman is the number one for me. Like before Goku vs. Superman, I didn't give a shit about Superman at all. I thought he was boring. I thought like his invulnerability was stupid. But after researching him so much and really getting an understanding what the character's about, he's probably one of my favorite definitely one of my favorite DC characters. I don't know about superheroes in general, but definitely one of the best DC characters in my opinion. Yeah, that one stands out to me.
Yeah, and then
all.
also like it's really cool when like we get to take a character that we may know a lot about, but maybe not a lot of people do, and introduce it to the audience. So for me, like my favorite moment was Guts from Berserk because I love Berserk. It's like one of my favorite animes and mangas, and I want to do that episode forever. And we talked about it, and so we do the episode, and seeing the comments of so many people being like, "Whoa!" like. That's a really hardcore backstory for Guts. Like, I got into Berserk. I started reading the manga. I watched the show, or like whatever. And like, I saw so many comments like that, and like people tweeting at me and stuff. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I got to share something that I'm interested in with other people.
There is something that got ruined for me. It's not an entire series or the character, but when I was doing Starscream versus Rainbow Dash, and I was researching, it was G1 Starscream versus whatever the current.
What,
I think it was G4.
MLP got ruined for you?
No, actually, I thought MLP was, when I was watching through it, it was surprisingly decent. Like, they did a good job with that show, and I've said it multiple times, if I had daughters of my own, I would absolutely want them to watch it. But the problem was I was watching the original Transformers cartoon. That show's not good.
No.
Like, I remember it as a kid watching that. I didn't watch a lot of it, but I remember thinking, this is the best thing ever. Transforming robots fighting each other, this thing is awesome. And then, you know, Michael Bay's Transformers came out and everybody was like, the old cartoon was so much better, blah, 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 blah. And I was, you know, on the same boat. Like, I remember the old cartoon, it was great. Followed the robots, there were interesting stories, blah, blah, blah. It was great. Fuck, we were wrong. That's not true at all. The old show is kind of bullshit.
Okay, which one's worse though? Michael Bay Transformers movies or the old school Transformers?
They're pretty much the same thing.
Transformers
The only difference
3.
is that the Transformers movies have a lot of like humans in it that don't really matter to the overall plot, and it kind of like bogs it down. The Transformers cartoon does focus on the robots, the original one, but it moves so fast. It is hard to figure out which character is which because they just throw in a bunch of like. It's like the same character, but they have different skins, and all these like other characters show up that they never introduce, and it moves so fucking fast that it's hard to like understand anything that's happening half the time. And it might not be as bad as I am saying, like in total, but it was bad for me especially because I was watching this other show back to back that's very well paced. Has very good art.
Yeah, so you're watching the Pony Show, and then you go back to Transformers, and then you realize you're like, why can't I just go back to watching the Pony Show? And
yeah,
like,
My Little
God
Pony, it may not be a show for me, but it was very well done. It was very well written. And I've never said this in my life, but when before or after, but when I was watching Transformers, I would go, man, I kind of wish I was watching the My Little Pony show now.
Yep.
Because it's just so much better made.
Yeah, but
now, that being said, I did check out like the other Transformers shows a little bit after that, and those are pretty good.
Like
There's
Beast
some pretty
Wars
good
and
ones.
everything?
Well, Beast Wars for sure, but there was like a more recent one. I'm not sure if it's Transformers Prime or
that's one of them. Anyway.
I think it might be that one. That's really good. I haven't watched the whole thing, but there was another one that was like 2D that was kind of iffy. But there was I think it's Prime. It's pretty good. So there are other good Transformers shows that Michael Bay would definitely benefit from watching. But that old one is not as good as people say it is.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that happens a lot. Like, we've had a lot of our childhood nostalgia shattered, altered in front of us.
I think altered is better.
No, yeah, I guess altered. But like,
has anything been shattered
I
for
can't
you?
think. Oh, I'm sure. I can't think of the specific example right now, but I remember multiple instances of me being like, yeah, blah, 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 because this show was great. And like we pulled it up and I was like, never mind, I was a child and I didn't know any better.
Did anything like that happen on He-Man vs. Lion-O?
We've
no,
been
because He-Man's
surprised.
like so campy. Yeah, like that was such a wonderful experience, the whole He-Man line of thing. But like the most recent example I can think of that happened, just somebody in the office, was Torian, because Torian was talking about like we had started talking about Power Rangers for the Power Rangers versus Voltron. He's like, Power Rangers Turbo. That movie was the greatest thing ever. It's the best Power Rangers. Just wait till this thing happens. Everything's so hype. Oh, blah, blah, Power Rangers.
Right.
And then the Twitch marathon happens. He's like, just you guys wait for Power Rangers Turbo, because I watched that all the time and it was the best thing I've ever seen. And then like he came in the day after.
Day after Turbo started.
Oh, day after Turbo started, he came back and he's just like, I was wrong. That show is garbage. Like he was,
and everybody
but like
agreed, too.
like it pained him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody agreed too.
It looked like he physically hurt as he was admitting that.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was pretty bad.
That shit happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yay, Death Battle.
Yeah.
All right, was
But-
that number 3 or 2?
I think that was
was
question
3.
number 3.
Cool.
Yeah.
Community battle, right?
Optimus Prime versus. I'm starting it off. Come on, somebody help me out here.
See, the Transformers are difficult to pair up against things because all the robots that people want them to fight
Are way bigger?
so much bigger.
Yeah, I know.
They're so much bigger. Transformers like 20, 30 feet or something like that. Everything else
Versus
is...
Gypsy Danger, 260 feet tall.
Exactly.
We got that. Gundams all the time.
Gundams are kind of the same size as,
Yeah.
as Transformers, maybe a little bit bigger.
They're just piloted by.
They're just
They're not sentient.
way stronger. They fly around and they're like anime craziness. And Transformers aren't necessarily that.
What about the Transformers versus VR Troopers? I don't even remember. Like,
Troopers.
I just remember VR Troopers and then the song, like, we are VR virtual reality. I thought they got in like a mech or something, right? Didn't they?
I don't know.
VR
I didn't watch
Troopers?
that.
I don't remember. It's been a long
I
time.
didn't watch VR Troopers.
It was like, well, you'd watch like VR Troopers after Beetleborgs or whatever.
The Big Bad Beetleborgs?
Yeah.
Do you remember Big Bad Beetleborgs being a show about a haunted house?
Nope.
Yes.
See, I didn't remember that.
I do.
Until I was looking at like the intro or something like that, and all these like haunted monster people started, like Dracula and
Yep.
the Mummy showed
Yep,
up. I was
yep,
like, wait
yep.
a minute. What the
It's in the intro. They like do that sweeping shot of the house. Yep.
Yeah. It was not quite the Power Rangers knockoff I remember it being. Okay.
I hear broadcast giggling. I don't know if they're looking something up or if it's totally different.
I'm actually looking up Optimus Prime,
Optimus Prime versus.
Death Battle, and the first thing that comes up
Who do you pit him against?
is Burning Gundam, which I've actually seen multiple times.
What if we made Optimus fight Bumblebee?
Hey, there you go.
There is a Bumblebee movie coming up. I think they just started shooting that. Optimus versus Bumblebee, who would win?
Yep.
Because see, if you saw the trailers for The Last Night, they make you think that's going to happen. It doesn't. In The Last Night. It almost does, but then Mark Wahlberg stops it.
Guys, Optimus Prime versus the Iron Giant.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Sentient robot?
Optimus Prime versus Iron Giant.
Iron Giant's big.
Iron Giant is big, but
big.
I think Optimus Prime could probably hold up to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Let's do it.
That's
Optimus Prime versus the Iron Giant. You can submit your your answers using the hashtag DeathBattleCast right there. We like it when you guys go into detail, especially like when you pull up some obscure fact or something like that. It's our favorite because that's what we do. So it's fun to see you guys do that as well. So yeah, use the hashtag and let us know who you think would win and why.
it. Yep. And
We'll answer next week.
yeah, we will cover that next week. First thing. This is good. I like that. I don't know if we've done a giant robot fight on the show.
Well,
Here?
kind
No.
of. We had Gypsy Danger, the Jaeger from.
Versus
yeah.
Aaron
Versus
Yeager.
Aaron
But
Yeager.
not robot.
But not
v.
robot versus
But and they're
robot.
drunk on Jaeger. We had.
Yes, we did add the modifier drunk on Yeager.
All right, well, we'll answer that. We'll compile the answers and talk about that next week.
Yep.
And of course, if you're a first member, thank you for watching this live on Friday. And definitely check out our Sudden Death, which is basically Death Battle Cast Extended. We're going to record that right after this, and it'll go up later.
Goes up on Sunday.
Yes. And we appreciate you watching. So until next week,
Bye.
see ya.
I love you.